for you. Been busy stretch of the season here. Coming home for a one-day training in Houston before Seattle. How'd it go today preparing for tomorrow's match?
Yeah, I think it's went okay. We really had a kind of a day and a half to focus on Seattle. It's good we saw them before, but they certainly have some new individuals that are in the group that are being effective. So certainly have to be aware of those guys, but they continue to be one of the better teams in the league. Really stout defensively, hard to get looks on. Again, it's a typical Seattle team. It'll be a tall task, but we're coming back home is nice. We had a long trip out west and not so good in LA, but a good response in the Open Cup. And again, just looking forward to getting back in front of our fans with a big match here, 20th anniversary. I know a lot of alumni are coming to this game, so that's exciting that they'll be in the building as well.
All right, thanks for that. We'll start with Danny.
Yes, head coach. Good morning.
Hi.
Game number 7 in the home. One more chance for this team. The win in the home.
Game number 7 against
In the home.
in the home. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, it wasn't the greatest start at home this year, and it was a little bit of a problem last year as well, and in home form, and we got away with that with road results. This year, our road results have been okay, and our home form has started off poorly. But I'd say over the last month, we've kind of changed that and started getting some wins here at home. And I always say it's important for us to send the home fans happy and also entertain them. So it's just another chance to do that.
Yeah, well.
Good. All right, we'll jump to Zoom. We'll start with Jesus. Go ahead.
Hey, Ben. As you mentioned, Dynamo was celebrating 20 years this Saturday. I was wondering if you could take us back to your playing day, playing against the Houston Dynamo. What's one memory that stands out to you of playing the Houston Dynamo?
Well, I'd rather not think about those days because it was miserable. They just kicked your ass, and it was 100,000 degrees here, and I always said, as a coach and a player, coming here back in the days, you left bruised, your ego was bruised, your body was bruised, and it kind of affected you for I felt like 2 weeks as a coach because you'd give everything, and you'd have to bring such a physicality and quality to the game to get past some of these teams when they were really at their peak. That it just took so much out of you from a heat standpoint and physicality. I did always said it took 2 weeks to recover. So again, a lot of great players, legends that I competed against, or even some of them I actually ended up coaching, whether it's Bobby and Chabala, some of these guys that I was lucky enough to be around my coaching days in DC. So a lot of respect. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm part of the club now. I'm part of the family. But these are teams that I think the entire league respected, and they deserve a celebration. And Pat Onstead, as a friend and someone I work with every day and respect. I know it's an important event for him as well, and he does a great job of getting these guys to stay involved in the club, and I think it's really, really important to have that type of culture.
Going into your 12th MLS game this Saturday, is there one or two words that you could describe how the team has done up to date? And then on the flip side, what one or two words you would want it to describe for the rest of the season?
Come on, Jesus. We just got back from 7 days on the road, and you're going to throw something like that at me? No chance. Listen, it's rocky. It started off rocky. I think we've leveled off here and figuring out, again, who we are. And now, as I talked about, It's about adding in some of these pieces over the next month. It's about being resilient in this moment because we're still not where we need to be, figuring out ways to get results. And in the month of May, I'd add that we're going to need everybody. And you're going to see guys filling in different spots as we have games every 3 days. So, and that can be a really great thing. If you're getting some results and everybody feels like they're contributing, I say it, you've heard me say it before, that's a great recipe for a good May. But everybody's got to step up and do their part.
And then final question for me, going up against Seattle, you kind of mentioned, Seattle's kind of flipped the switch, they kind of started slow and not kind of flipped the switch. What's the biggest concern you have with Seattle coming to town, or any specific player that you kind of want to target as far as making sure they don't hurt you on the field?
Well, Masovsky's hot, but again, I think it's more of a collective and some of the players around him that are providing him good opportunities. He's a guy we haven't seen much, and De La Vega's back in the mix. We haven't seen him since last year. So they've got with Seattle. It's not some teams it's okay. They got two really nasty wingers that you really want to kind of make sure you stop and you have a chance to have success. Seattle doesn't work that way. They're very collective. They've always been collective and complete. And it's credit to them. They build teams that are don't give up a lot of chances, and they're physical, they're athletic, and they've got playmakers. So it's always a hard team to go against. We've done okay. We've done okay against them. I'd say in the past few years, if we're guilty of something, it's that we haven't taken our chances when we've created them. You don't get a lot. I've said this last year. You do not get a lot, so you have to really be efficient when you get your looks.
Thanks, man. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Dustin, go ahead.
Hey, Ben.
Or Dustin.
You play a team like Seattle. I think it's been 9 straight since you guys have beaten them. Is that something that sticks with you guys, or is that just a media thing for us, fans thing? Or is that something, that when you look at the Seattle team, it's kind of an uphill battle?
I don't think we're the only team. I mean, they're very good. They're a very good team, and they're hard to score against. And you could say that certainly our attack hasn't been over the last year and a half. It's not been the strongest in the league, so that's not always a good recipe. But we think we're building, and we still get looks against them. As I said, it's not going to be a 20-shot game for us. We understand that, but can we make them count when we get them? And I think that's been the one thing that's haunted us against them. But we've had plenty of really close games that I think the performance was there, and some of the moments in the final third were lacking. So that's really where I think we have we kind of have the promise that we can turn this around. I thought we went toe to toe with them in the playoffs. Even this year we went there, and I thought we stifled them defensively. Put in a really good performance. So hopefully at home we have some more of the ball and we get better looks.
And just wanted to ask you about Felipe Andrade. You mentioned after the game we'll be seeing more of him now he's the first team. What does that say about Marcelo, Kenny, just the staff that you guys have in place there, that you guys are able to get these guys in Dynamo too and get them ready so quickly for first team action?
Well, in some ways this was always the plan with Felipe. This was a guy that was playing in Brazil in one of the top leagues in the world. Second division, first. He's been bouncing, and so he's an experienced player. And I think you see, with the second team, some of the profiles that we're bringing in from South America to continue to develop is certainly something that we're going to continue to do, and we've seen some success with it with Mikael And we're seeing some young talent. Exxon, we're seeing some of these young talented guys come over here, and you get a look at them, and they need to be fostered. And Marcelo does a good job. Kenny did a great job with Mika. So this is not by accident, and that's going to continue. Marcelo's done a great job down there. It's been a joy to work with him. Selfless, understands the role, and it's really ends up being a support job to the first team and develop players. And he's a great person for that. It's been a lot of fun working with him, and Kenny did a great job before with it. So it's more so maybe than other clubs. It's a really tight relationship between our second team and our first team, and it's going to continue to be a big part of our success.
Thanks, Ben.
Armand, go ahead.
Hey, Ben, just kind of piggybacking on that question, are there any other players who started against Phoenix that got the coaching staff's attention as we look at the calendar and we look at 6 games in the next 3 weeks?
Well, everybody got fairly good marks in that game from a coaching staff standpoint. So that's a good thing when you're heading into a month of a heavy calendar. Felipe gets the goal, and I think you saw his quality. It wasn't a surprise to us because we've seen these guys. We know what these guys are about. So one Open Cup isn't going to kind of completely change our mind. But it was overall a good performance, a lot of good marks.
Good deal. And then with the theme of this weekend's game, I wanted to ask you about one specific legend because you were a teammate of him when he first came into the league, Bobby Boswell.
Yeah, Bobby's a friend and a guy that is one of my favorite people that I've been around in soccer and also coached. So can't say enough about him. He was a big part of my teams and the kind of the character and personality that we had. He was a big influence on the DC teams, and obviously he's a winner, and and it's nice to see him every now and then. I know he's doing the radio and still connected to the club. He could talk a dog off a meat truck. He doesn't stop talking, but a real crack up too. A great guy in the locker room. It's that group had personality, and he was one of them.
Good deal. And the last question is, have you seen Pat's bobblehead, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. They're never great. I can speak from experience. It's never as good. The idea of it is great, and then you see it, and it's just never. It's never very flattering, but I haven't seen his. I'm sure, yeah. I don't know. I'll take a look.
Best of luck tomorrow, sir.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Ben.
What's up, Sam?
Welcome back. That was a great performance in Phoenix, 4-1. I just want to ask, looking at the demand in schedule and the toll it takes on players, how have you been able to manage fitness and rotation to keep the players fresh ahead of this kind of game coming up on Sunday, which is the anniversary and legend weekend?
The first Open Cup is really one of the trickiest lineups, I think, as a coach to pull off in finding a team that can win and have rhythm, with the fitness levels of some of the guys that you're trying to get in there, but also bring the right quality. So that's always a tricky dance. But now we're into, every 3 games or every 3 days we're going to have a game. So we're going to need everybody, and you can plan it Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. We're going to play this guy next Wednesday, but that's not how it ends up shaking out, because you have to go through the game and you get suspensions and you get injuries, and that's why I say it's just the engagement of the entire 22 players that you're going to need that during this stretch is important, and so it's important to them to take care of themselves off the field, do a little extra in the gym and the regen, and taking care of themselves, taking care of the machine, to make sure they're robust and resilient through this time. But also, you're going to rely on your depth. The good news is we're, knock on wood, fairly healthy. And we're adding some new players in. Dwayne Holmes trained for the first time today. We have Pablo coming in. Linger's integrated now at this point. So we're going to continue to keep adding players in, and hopefully we have the right depth to utilize everybody and have some level of success in May, because it's a very, very important month for us, in particular where we stand in the standings.
So last one from me. The winning feeling from Phoenix game, despite the LAFC result. Beyond match result, what metrics or other metrics do you use to assess the progress? Because this team is exciting to watch. I don't give it to a very exciting team to watch. What other metrics do you use to assess their progress? You got the players that have come in the team.
Well, thank you. I think there was a compliment in there, and it was also the metrics of, like, what am I judging our group on right now?
Despite the result hasn't really been, the team exciting to watch, what other metrics do you use to judge the progress that the team is making?
Yeah. Well, goals cure a lot of this, and to your point of still being in every game and at times playing some entertaining stuff and still being somewhat ball dominant, maybe not as much as we're used to. We're still getting looks and we're still creating chances. So I just think right now the metric that we want to look at is scoring goals, being more dangerous in the final third, continuing to grow in some areas where we think we can be more dangerous in front of goal. And then the other, I don't know if this is a metric, is like stop shooting ourselves in the foot. And I think we've curbed that for the most part. LA, I thought we gave them a few transition moments where we didn't, we got away with a couple big saves. But, just being a little bit more pragmatic at times with the ball and not turning it over in bad spots.
All right, thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Jorge, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi, Jorge.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you about Andres Linger, right? He's got 4 goal contributions in his last 4 games. Just speak to us about him. I know you said he's integrated, but what else could bring out, his attributes to the game?
He's doing just fine. He's what we thought he was going to be. He's a guy that can run in behind. He can finish. He's selfless with. You see him. He could have taken that goal himself, but he's able to provide as well with high quality. So I think he's great. He's really what we needed in the attack. So when you have as many support players and guys that are good in possession, threatening the back line and just overall, whether it's box occupation, whether it's just getting on the end of things, we need another guy that's dangerous in and around goal. So he's helped in that area, and I think we're set up for him to have success as well, because we do have the right providers, and he's going to continue to score. He's going to continue to get assists if he continues with some of the habits he has.
And then lastly for me, I'm sure you're already planning for the summer in terms of depth. And Asher brought up the other day that there is a possibility the team could switch to a 3DP system. Is there anything you can speak on that? Are you looking at another DP?
Sure. Yeah. It'd be nice. We're getting something. We're going to get something in the summer. There's different ways to go about that, whether it's there's all different options I think are on the table, but certainly looking for something to bolster this team. And I think in some ways at the end of May, into June, we'll know. I think we'll have a better, clear vision of what that player needs as we incorporate some of these guys and Linger and Pablo and Dwayne Holmes gets in there. I think it's still an evaluation process for us as an organization or a front office to figure out what that piece to take us to the next level is. So as much as we're figuring ourselves out, we still don't know what, as we add these other pieces in here, we still don't fully know. And we're gonna find out in the next month and a half.